I didn't.
Oh, and we're live.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 174 of the Self-Publishing Roundtable. I am your moderator, Wade Finnegan, and my co-panelists for this evening are Erica Conroy.
Hello.
Xavier Granville, yeah, the guy in the red hat.
Hello, internets.
Krishan Keller-Hanna.
My jazz hand game is strong.
Nice. And Robert Jazz Shoot.
Greetings, people of Earth.
And our special guest for this episode, well, there's probably more than one, but we'll start with the one that's on the screen right now. David W. Wright.
Hello.
If you haven't heard yet, this is a very, very special episode.
Because I'm here.
Because you're here. And because it's our last one, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah, I know. That's what David, we bring you on the show and down it goes.
It wouldn't be the first time I've been on the last episode of something. I think it's becoming a thing.
So really, our special guest is our listeners for tonight. We it's going to be like a thank you show and talks about some things that we're going to be doing and memories, and we're trying not to let Robert cry too much. It's going to be all good. But thanks for everybody that's been listening for all this time on selfpublishingroundtable.com and also on our YouTube and all the other stuff. And hopefully we get lots of live viewers tonight. Love to have any questions, random thoughts, favorite memories, maybe. I don't know. Comment on Xavier's hat. Doesn't matter. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about tonight. So, yeah.
Say something bad about my hat. I dare you.
Dare you.
The war on Xavier's Christmas.
Your Christmas is wrong. No.
Yeah. A special kind of Christmas with drinks.
Guys, we've covered this. We've covered this so many times. It's our Thanksgiving that is different. We still have Christmas on the same day. Jesus.
No, we don't have it on the same day because you guys are in the past. So
Yeah, that's
that's right. Yeah, Erica gets to do everything first.
Yeah.
America owns Christmas, okay?
You got a point there.
You know, Erica's from the future, but she still won't send me her lottery ticket numbers. It's really frustrating.
I think it's that America owns Jesus and Jesus owns Christmas. God damn it.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Where's Carl Sinclair? Didn't he start this whole thing? Why isn't he here? What the hell?
Well, he's down on the bottom, and we can throw in some extra invites. He's down there on in the one of the very first comments, but I haven't seen him since. But we can throw out some extra invites tonight.
He likes to watch.
He does, especially you.
I think that's it. I think he's just doing his service in full Carl form, just trolling us from afar.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really how the whole show started anyway, was this trolling.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean...
Going out strong.
That's right. Back to the roots. So what do you guys want to start off talking about?
Well, why don't you just talk about it a little bit more about how it started, and we'll go from there.
All right, we'll go from there. So that bearded gentleman there is really, he's got some his hands into this because started watching him and Sean and Johnny, and then I got to know Carl through Twitter, and we started basically harassing you guys, I guess is the right term, right? Is that the right?
Yeah, you guys are like, well.
So, David froze me. Oh, there you go. What'd you say there, David? I'm sorry, you froze for a second.
You were all like, well, surely if these three assholes can do it, so can we. And then the show was born.
Then the show was born. That's right. So, yeah. So we started off doing that. The storytelling podcast, too. We trolled the shit out of that. We just made lots of bad comments. And so we started off thinking about just putting a show together. Actually going to review those guys' show. Which was fun for a few episodes, and then we figured out that really we couldn't just talk about you guys all the time, and so we got it. Yeah, we just started talking about it, and next thing you know, Bill Dowis, Carl, Chrissy Moss was there for a while. I'm trying to remember how all of it started. John was there for a little bit, and we started just doing a show, and not really know what the hell we're doing, kind of bit like just like Dave, right? So it just kept morphing.
I thought you was going to say just like now.
Well, it really isn't much different, maybe. I mean, Erica's added some professionalism to her, but maybe.
Really?
I'm out all.
Oh, all right.
I'm the one who swears, you know.
The only one.
Yeah. So yeah, we went through a couple of reincarnations. I've always likened it to like a rock and roll band. Like, you know, we broke up, the lead singer went this way, that way, then you had one guy that was still there, and then it went away again, and then I said, no, I want to have it some more, and then Erica came along, helped us out, and yeah, it just, I mean, time flew. I don't even know exactly how many for like calendar wise. I mean, I know it's episode 174, but it's been quite a while. It's been a big chunk of my life, really, which I know it sounds kind of sappy, but it's true. I mean, it's like, you know, I got me and my family playing around. Oh, it's Thursday. You got podcast night. Oh yeah, we can't go out today. You know, all those things. So it's been great.
So what are you going to tell them that you're doing now, Wade?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's going to say he's writing.
There you go.
Yes, there you go. An hour a week you've got now.
Yes.
Just think, instead of doing podcasts, if you've been writing all this time, you'd have a book or two. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
What a monumental waste.
Yes. What a monumental waste. But Dave, I wouldn't have got to know you if it hadn't been for that podcast. I wouldn't got to know anybody here tonight, and my life is better for it, right?
Keep telling yourself that way.
Keep telling yourself.
I have a feeling next Thursday Wade's going to be like alone in his office. The lights will be off. He'll have a gun in his mouth. Bad vibe.
See, this is why we need you on more often there, Dave, because with me on the show and Robert on the show, that's two Canadians. That's too much optimism.
Right. Yeah. Well, you did notice that most of the time we did not have you guys on the same time.
Yes, for a reason.
That's right.
Optimistic? Optimistic? I was thinking, no, wait, don't put the gun in your mouth. Let me do it.
I could.
Right, yeah. Robert is the best enemy friend you could ever have.
He is frenemy prime.
He is frenemy prime. Look at this. David Ants is in the house. Jamie Dodge is in the house. All right, some more people. I was one of the things too I really loved when we first started off. It was a lot of all the live viewers, and like I say, I got my friend base, internet friend base, but it's still friend base really grew. I mean, it's like I know a lot of people just from this podcast, so that part's been really, really cool.
Yes, we've known all these writers, and yet we somehow didn't figure out a way to leverage that power to use them for world domination. As Chris Fox suggests in his latest book, which we have talked about last hour, except Chris didn't show up. But we're not bitter.
Chris has just gotten in touch with me with apologies. They're in the middle of a big storm at the moment, and he's having to deal with flooding. So I think that's a reasonable excuse for not making it to live recording.
Chris,
I will admit there is a big storm. He is not lying. It's on the West Coast.
Okay, Chris, all is forgiven.
There is indeed a big storm somewhere.
Wade has vouched for you, Chris.
Yes.
He'll be on the next episode.
Yes, along with David Wright. They'll be on the next episode.
So it looks. I'm looking on the site, and I think I see that it was August 23rd that the oldest. I think it's episode 10. It was aired on the 23rd of. 23rd of August 2013. So
2013.
Wow.
And that was the 10th episode. That's the first one on the website, though. So we're missing 9 episodes somewhere in there.
Well, someday they'll show up.
What'd you do with those episodes, Dave?
I can't tell you. You'll have to ask Carl.
Yeah, I bet you Carl's just hoarding them somewhere.
Yeah.
He's going to sell them as like collector's editions.
Oh man,
that's right. That's right. All because we started tweeting each other, and Carl goes, "Hey, we should do a show." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a great idea." And next thing you know,
you guys went a totally different way with
Next
that.
thing
I
you
was
know,
figuring it was. Sorry, what was that, Krishan? I didn't hear you.
I said that the next thing he knew, he was in his den for the last 3 years.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say you guys went a totally different way with that. Since it was Carl, I assumed that it wasn't collector's editions. I just figured it was just so toxic they could weaponize it. But anyway, that's just me.
Or blackmail
Carl
fodder.
has to come on to defend himself.
Well,
So does anyone have a favorite episode from since pre-August 2013 up until the last episode we recorded?
Hey, Zoe Yoke's in the house. Hey, Zoe.
Zoe.
Hey, sorry, late.
One of our favorite SPRT guests of all
Regular
time.
even.
I remember when we had Hugh on, Hugh Howie, and the data guy. I thought that was a really good episode that I remember anyway.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And these guys are still going. I believe Data Guy is like really hot topic or the hot guest to get on, and he's making it into writers and publishing conferences at the moment too. So we might not see much of you lately, but we are seeing a lot of Data Guy.
Now, is he like wearing like a bag over his head when he goes to these things?
I don't know, but I still haven't seen a picture of him, so we're not even sure if he's a guy.
I think it's Carl.
You think it's Carl?
I think somebody confirmed it was a guy, but yeah, that's come up before. I don't know. Like he has presented at conferences, but I guess they just threaten everyone with a cell phone with death that they shouldn't take a picture of him because it is amazing that they haven't appeared with at least a face mask yet.
Well, yeah, he is a guy. I mean, we did talk to him.
Right.
It was a very good impersonation of a man.
Right. We did. Yeah, that's true.
Well, with voice alter technology, you never know. But.
He's actually a panda.
I mean, I didn't believe all these years.
He presented at RWA in San Diego, the RWA Nationals. And I don't think anybody tweeted from inside that. There was a lot of live tweeting at RWA, and nobody tweeted from inside that workshop. I didn't go to it, so I missed out. I should have.
They don't want to miss a single word.
Right, they were listening.
Well, it's
you can tell how interesting the talk is when there's a lot of live tweeting because you get bored and you're like, oh my God, okay, here we go. If you're actually just fully engaged in it, your phone is down and you're like, ooh.
I just assumed that I just assumed it was a case that they got a room full of writers and they'll just say, look, if anybody takes a picture of the guy or tweets out who he is, then we'll expose all your pseudonyms and you get instant cooperation.
Yep.
Okay, X, what about you for a favorite episode?
I really liked when we did the live plotting. That was a lot of fun.
That was one of the highest watched on YouTube too. It had a tremendous amount of downloads. Yeah.
I think as far as YouTube, that's a good one to do as far as just like the live streaming, just people coming up with story ideas. I think there might be a market for that as far as if someone were doing that more often. But I was trying to remember back to that one episode where we were all dying laughing from when Michelle was talking about like John getting Satan locked in the bathroom or something like that.
Oh yeah, was that what Demelza? Because Demelza had been on, right? Yeah. If you go back to that episode, a lot of the episodes with Michelle on, I really really loved because she was always so giggly and a lot of ridiculousness came out of that. Yeah, there was the lack of professionalism that actually went in a good way, right?
Absolutely, that all that good stuff that I'm a big fan of. But overall, I love the consistency of SPRT. I came on, kind of like almost halfway through the length of this being a thing. So I watched its inception, helped out from afar, and then kind of ended up more on that co-panelist position. So it's been a fun ride, and it's been since I've been on, it's been about 2 years now. So yeah, it's a lot's happened with me for the past 2 years. So yeah, I'm really thankful for all of the hours spent here, and also just the people that I've met, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Very cool.
What do you think has been the biggest change in the indie landscape since you all started?
Ooh, just the way that Amazon plays its game is always changing, and I think just reading through Chris Fox's latest book kind of brought that up a lot. Just trying to understand what is Amazon's ultimate goal, I think, has been one of those things that people have not been able to wrap their minds around. They're not in the business to sell things. They're in the business to be better at selling things and making it easy for you to buy that next thing. And so that kind of is it comes as one of those things that some people can't grasp, or they're trying to find one way to go about it. But really, it is about trying to work with Amazon as much as you can, and really to do that is to just keep current and doing whatever that they want you to do when they want you to do it. Damn it!
Jump higher. Jump now.
Now we're gonna put the ring on fire.
I think one of the biggest things I've seen, Dave, is the acceptance of indies, though, just in a general public sense. Indie authors
throw feces at us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I work with a bunch of English teachers all the time. Those stuffy English teachers, right? And no, seriously, it's like, they don't ask, is that an indie published book or whatever? I tell them, hey, it's a good book by so-and-so. So I think that's part of it that's changed quite a bit.
That's a really good point. Because
go ahead. Go, Christian.
Is the rise of the pulp writer en masse, as in a strategy. Folks who are publishing once a month, once every 2 months, consistently. The 20 books to 50K theorem, in other words, that is becoming a really big thing, and it's becoming more so to the point where it's consistently showing that people are making a viable living off of it. And that's the really big thing that I've seen this year. A lot of people before were maybe doing a book a quarter, and people are actually purposefully trying to get shorter work out there in regular intervals.
Robert?
I was going to say that about people not giving a shit about being indies. I have still run across that a couple times, but it's from people who don't read books anyway. So your opinion, sir, is irrelevant. What's more, I don't like your...
So you've been
Sorry,
to Florida.
what's that?
So you've been to Florida.
There's two people that read Florida, and David's found them.
Yeah, as far as the whole favorite episode thing goes, I kind of want to mention a couple things. One is I think when we did news, when we did the news, we did that really well. I really enjoyed that, and I often found out things that, oh God, how did I miss that? Amazon has changed it, so we have to have the table of contents in the front. Did they tell anybody? But everybody but me. I didn't get the memo. So that was good. And the other thing that was different about SPRT than all the other podcasts is we had an after party, and I think we connected really well. That was a great opportunity to talk to people informally and get to know people in the after party. That was really great. I'm going to miss that most probably.
And watch certain Canadians get drunk.
Not pointing
at
the guy in red hat. Oh.
Well, we haven't had any after parties lately. What with our live viewer numbers have dropped quite a bit. So yeah, we would hang around a wee bit, but after a while, so especially the past few months, we haven't really been bothering to do after parties. So I guess that's a change in the community.
Which I hope is because people are writing books, damn it.
Right.
You better be writing books if you're not coming to hang out with me.
I wanted to chime in because I think what Krishan said about seeing more people write faster, more consistently, shorter stuff. So all of that is actually what I saw the romance guests talking about on SPRT 2 years ago. And I think I think romance has shifted in the time that I've been watching and being on SPRT. Romance has shifted from quickly learning writing craft. Like I remember the Rachel Aaron interview, right? And we were all like so obsessed. How do we get faster? How do we write smarter? You know, so we were craft obsessed and business, like writing craft and also business craft obsessed. And now,
you went mute yourself. You muted yourself.
Sign language. Go to sign language.
That's a cliffhanger.
But now in the romance genre, where we've moved to is creating fandoms. So I wonder if we're going to see that in some of the other genres, right? So indie authors now are like so focused on build that fandom, find the one series that your readers really go insane over. So in romance, now we're seeing lots of people try this series, this series, this series. Aha, this one. Okay, this is where I'm sticking for a little bit. That's the big change that I've seen in the last 2 years.
Now, is there a lot of
romance has always been the leader in terms of being indie and innovating in the indie space? So that doesn't surprise me that they were talking about that 2 years ago.
How many romance? When you say they're starting new series, are they starting series with the expectation that there will be follow-up books, and then if it doesn't do well, they just don't do it? And do they leave people disappointed?
Well, so in romance, often a series means a common world, but each story is standalone. And so when I say they start a series, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, some people do start like a trilogy arc or a duology or a, you know, even a 5-book arc, and then they really slow down that production, but they slow it down from 1 book every 2 months to 1 book every 6 months, which really, like, that kind of stresses us out because we think, oh God, we're missing deadlines. But to a reader, that is not an unbearable amount of time to wait for a book, right? Readers, particularly readers who've been reading for more than 2 years, you know, we've conditioned them actually to wait 2 years for a new book, 5 years for a new book in a series. So you never say the series is dead, but you can totally stretch out production.
I want all the books now, though, as a reader.
Like Netflix, I want to binge.
Right.
Yeah. And I do.
Where's all my books now?
A lot of this stuff is cyclical. Do you think that we'll be getting back to people doing more serials?
Yes, I do think so. As we start to go shorter, more common, it will probably be larger books or larger stories being broken up again. I don't, like anything else, fads and trends come and go. And the folks who are making money are the ones who recognize that and apply that to what they're doing. Isn't that right, David?
White Space season 3.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult, especially with Amazon as the big player and them basically limiting how you sell the books. So a serial at $2.99, if it's short, that's too much money for most books. 99 cents, you're not making enough. So until that changes, I don't see serials taking off. I mean, even Amazon's own serial program bit the dust. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I had hopes that it would be. I mean, I fucking love serials, obviously. So
yeah, in a lot of ways, right? The medium really affects that. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some authors who did a serial, an iBooks exclusive serial, if they could get iBooks to promote it, because 99-cent serial parts on iBooks makes you 70 cents, right?
Yes.
So you do an iBooks exclusive serial, bam, 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 release, give that to them, and then do the complete novel or the complete serial arc story for like $9.99 on Amazon. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some people trying stuff like that.
That would be cool.
And it was recommended by a romance author, so it'll probably happen in about a year or 18 months.
Well, you've been on iBooks quite a bit, haven't you, Zoe?
You mean like in terms of getting promo from them?
You're not exclusive to Amazon.
No, yeah, I'm almost exclusively wide. Like every so often, like right now, I have one series that's on Amazon only, but it's a backlist series. Like, so I'll pop a backlist series that is like between my BookBub cycles. So, you know, ideally, I'm BookBubbing a series once every 6 months. So I'll BookBub it, and then I'll let that tail fall off, and then at like the 6 or 8 week mark post BookBub, then I might toss it into Kindle Unlimited for 90 days, pull it out, and then apply for another BookBub. That's kind of my cycle.
Okay. The reason I ask about iBooks is Chris Fox, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, wrote Six Figure Author and using data to sell books. And one of the things he said was he's all in on Amazon because he did an experiment with Apple, and he found that once the promotion, they did promote him, and he was very happy with the promotion. But right after the promotion was over, it kind of tanked, and he felt like he was going to make much more money on Amazon. And of course, the other factor is this could very much be genre dependent.
Totally. I mean, I do think that there's good reason to be exclusive to Amazon if you sell well on Amazon. The reality is I don't actually sell that well on Amazon. Like in a good month on Amazon, it's about 50% of my income. There are months when Amazon's only 30 to 40% of my income. And part of that is because I now randomly sell really well on Kobo. They really love my alter ego, Ainsley Booth. And the Ainsley books they've gotten to a point on the Kobo lists where they just sell themselves, which is, I mean, that's a magical thing that I can't explain how I did it because I've never been able to do it with Zoe books. iBooks, I totally agree if a promo isn't pushing it, but it's not just their internal promo, it's also BookBubs. Like BookBubs on iBooks are huge for me. So if you write a series that is BookBubbable, then I think it's worthwhile to be wide when you're running that BookBub, unless you have a always on Amazon kind of approach. There's no one right answer.
But BookBub kind of avoids KDP exclusives, don't they?
I've heard mixed things on that. I mean, I don't know. I've never tried to get a BookBub well in KU, so I don't know.
I think that's the latest we heard from Amazon. That was their that was BookBub's thing. The editor at BookBub was encouraging people. You know, you'll have a better chance if you're wide. So take that for what it's worth. But you're the first person I've actually met who said they're doing well on Kobo. So what is magic that is happening with that made it work on Kobo where so many others have tried and cried?
I mean, I wish I knew, because Zoe sells okay on Kobo, but I honestly think that Ainsley's books got into a spot on the Kobo, because the Kobo lists are kind of funny and they don't refresh that quickly. So I think that the Ainsley books got into a spot like on the top of a Kobo list or something. And so now they're just kind of perpetually on that list. At some point, it'll probably stop and fall off. The other thing is that those books are $4.99. And Kobo likes the slightly higher. I mean, they would love it if I would price them at $7.99, but then I don't think they would sell anything on Amazon. So it's kind of like a balancing act there. But my Zoe books are $2.99 and $3.99. So because they're a bit shorter. So I do think that the longer that you write, the higher chance you're going to get some promo love at Kobo. And you know, apparently it's a good place to sell erotica.
Oh,
really?
Well, I mean, like my Ainsley books, my Ainsley books are pretty dirty. I have to be kind of cagey in how I present them on Amazon and on iBooks. Kobo is like, nah, put them in erotica. Like, well, they have lists for their erotica where the other retailers don't. So, or they don't, like, they're not findable or whatever. So Kobo, they don't treat it as like a, dirty step sibling kind of thing. My books aren't, you know what I mean? I'm going to stop now.
That's an interesting twist. That's interesting because I think Kobo was the one that purged a bunch of erotica back in the day, early on in this show's history. I remember.
Well,
the erotica purge.
They did, but it wasn't actually Kobo initiated. That was a book retailer partner in the UK,
Right.
W.H. Smith.
W.H. Smith, yeah.
And I think, to their credit, I think Kobo has done a good turnaround on their own storefront in that. Because all my Ainsley books are listed in erotica on Kobo, and they sell really well. Like Prime Minister sells about 40 copies a day on Kobo, and it's been out since May. So
nice.
That's my bestseller. But I mean, like, seriously, it's 40 books a day at $4.99 on Kobo. So that's one title. So I'm pretty happy with them right now.
My pseudonym just her nipples just got erect, and she's definitely thinking about going over to Kobo. Isn't that right? Yes, it is.
Well, I applied for a Kobo promotion just recently, and just for the last month and a half, and I got 3 out of the 4 promotions that I requested. So it is pretty easy to get some promotion on Kobo, and it's, for the most part, it's free. They just take a percentage. But I think if you want to go promote your free books, then you have to start paying them some money. But it is quite interesting once you realize how to actually promote on Kobo. It is. Oy.
Oh boy, Kobo, you're changing.
Yeah.
Does it still require that you call Mark Lefebvre?
No, there's an actual tab now. You click on the tab, and it's like, where did this tab come from? I haven't seen it before.
So you click the tab, and then that calls Mark. Cool.
No, Mark's completely out of the equation now. You don't even talk to a person. It's all automated. Well, from what you see, it's automated anyway. So,
that is amazing. Oh. That's good to know.
I wish I'd seen it sooner,
No,
that could have been the news roundup next week or something.
Yeah, it's a little just a little tab in the corner. It says "Call Mark."
It's probably like a red light that says "woo" and a red phone. Pick it up.
Oh yeah, like the bat phone, the Mark phone.
Hello, how can I help?
Mark must be so relieved.
Who else has a favorite episode?
Just so you know, I'm at work and I'm actually in one of the meeting rooms. And so what happens, the lights are not usually on in the meeting rooms. So everybody's kind of poking their head in and like seeing who's in the meeting room. Like, I am. And they're like, oh.
Why are the lights still on in here?
Because you can't see me otherwise.
So T.S. Paul said that his favorite episode was the one he was on.
Of course.
He says people still talk to him about it and ask about it, and I think it's probably the one that a lot of people have commented on the most for various reasons.
Right. Some with disagreements, but yes.
And be honest. Why? Tell them how the sausage is made now. Now is our time.
What, the actual complaints?
The actual complaints.
There was stuff like we laughed too much at him, and they felt like we were making fun of him, even
and
though
we were laughing with him.
That was one of the ones laughing the most.
Right? That was the thing that perplexed him. He was like, y'all were fine. We were having a great time. And his wife, Heather, was like, we were having a blast. And I was like, what? My favorite comment along that line was, y'all were oddly combative. I was like, shut up. This is how we talk over margaritas.
That's right.
After we got those complaints, I listened to the episode again, and I wrote you guys. I said, they're right. There is a lot of snickering in that interview with T.S. Paul, and it's all T.S. Paul snickering.
I guess if you're not used to hearing T.S. Paul snickering, you can't really tell him apart from the rest of us snickering, so they couldn't tell he was snickering at himself. But, yeah.
I think we have always been great guests. even those who didn't deserve it. We were always great with guests.
Oh, yes. I do recall, I was not in this one. This one was well before I joined up, but I do recall there were 2 guests that came on who did not believe in mailing lists.
Yes, and then Dave unleashed the Kraken.
Yes. There's a lot of silent. There's a lot of dead air in that episode, I do believe.
Well, what you don't hear is the marrow being sucked from bones. That's what's happening.
I was actually in Perth when that one was recorded, so afterwards I had to put up with Carl bitching so much about that episode.
What was he mad about?
The guests.
I think John Ward booked them. Maybe was that back then? I can't remember now. I can't remember who booked them, but
I'm sure.
I thought y'all had me on like as a hitman. I was like, I don't want to be the bad guy. Come on.
Well, actually, I was going to say that is the failing of SPRT is, there's the stuff that's fun because we're all having a good time, we're being informative, and everybody's friendly. And then there's the real memorable episodes with you. That's what you want is destruction on air, where somebody cries, somebody screams, somebody threatens murder. We need podcasts that have more blood, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
But alas, that's why we're going off the air.
I just wanted to add one more thing. There was another episode like that. I believe it might have been the one where Publishers Weekly came on. When They did that really bad survey about author earnings, and I think that survey is what gave Hugh Howey and Data Guy the idea to go and do it properly. But oh my God, Trish just ripped holes into those people.
Yes,
yeah,
that was amazing. I felt uncomfortable on that one. I was like, this needs to end.
I was masturbating furiously.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah.
All I remember from that night is the freaking comment page just going like there was just so many people freaking the hell out. It was wonderful, and I love to add to the chaos. It was great.
Actually, probably one of my biggest mistakes was asking Erica to come on, because she was one of the best commenters ever. She would make some comment, and I would just be busting, trying not to laugh on air. And I brought her on, that she kind of quit making all those comments.
Oh, well, I can make I made some of them on the show. I mean, like I said, I'm probably the only one that swears, so I mean, I'm pretty fine saying whatever the hell I think.
You're quick with the typing banter was really good sometimes.
Oh, it's because I've got a fast word count, man.
God, it's hard to find a favorite show. I mean, really though, I know Dave's going to sound like I'm sucking up, but one of my favorite shows is when we actually got to interview you, Dave. I mentioned that actually when we did a post once where we picked our favorite. You're a great interviewee. That was a really good one. And then I remember Kristen Harbour and JP Salisbury coming on together, I think it was. And then Zoe and Kristen came on before too, but right? Yes, we had you both on before too, but they definitely made my face turn red, and we laughed really hard. And they also got really excited about how many books they were selling. Those are a couple of episodes that stick out to me.
The one that sticks out for me is the same one that. Oh, hi, Blair. The one that stuck out for me is the plotting episode at the beginning of the year, almost a year to the day. Actually, it was Christmas, around Christmas, so next week, because that episode was the inspiration of the Daughter of the Flood series, which I went on to publish in June of that year. And just being able to toss it around and have fun with it and come up with an idea, have it documented the moment that kernel started, and then being able to follow it and track it, because by that time I had joined the show. And then in June, boom, there is this book, here it is. It was life-changing for me.
That's awesome.
Because I was kind of an author, kind of a writer before, and that show and that help and y'all's encouragement made me an actual author.
Oh, now getting all deep on us now. Krishan, we're supposed to do this. Robert, stop crying.
No, you can cry. It's that moment.
We all
I got
know
20
Canadians
minutes,
can't
and they're all
cry.
going to be in tears. Damn it. No, but that was life-changing for me because I was horrified of hitting that publish button. Horrified. A lot of people are. And knowing that you have people at your back watching your six while you do that and being able to pluck good ideas out of the minds of folks who are on the grind and doing much better than you, but always willing to help you up if needed. Being able to listen to folks who take the work seriously, but not themselves too seriously. Because I come from an academia background. I come from higher education background with a bunch of PhDs and MFAs who are broke, drinking craft beers and putting out no work, right?
Hmm.
Talking about how, talking about the mechanics of your work and how genre doesn't sell. I'm like, honey, Charles Dickens is genre. Edgar Allan Poe is genre. The Bronte sisters are genre, right? This is what we write is what people 100 years from now will be writing. And I would not have been able to do that without you guys. And so that was my favorite episode. That and the Shifter author who wouldn't talk at all.
Mina Carter or the
No,
other
Mina
sister?
Carter talked. She was pleasant.
Yeah, I
Oh
was
my
gonna say,
God.
yeah.
I got to interview Mina Carter. No, we're talking about the dude who's writing the Shifter novels.
Oh, can't remember. It's too many
You
episodes.
did the interview, Erica.
No names, no
know.
names.
It was a
Doesn't matter.
There was like bad paneling or something behind him. We'll just kind of leave it there. Wasn't that the one you're talking about, Krishan? It's kind of a dark room.
No, he was on the balcony, and he was on the
Chance
balcony.
Carter. He wasn't a shifter writer. Chance
Huh?
Carter.
Oh, what was he? Oh, male pregnancy. Yeah.
No, he wasn't male pregnancy either.
What did he write?
He was
This is amazing.
really bad boy romances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was
Really
one of those
bad boy.
subgenres. But I remember.
Wait,
I was
hold on. Is anybody writing male pregnancy books? And if
Yes.
so, why haven't you shared them with me?
Yes,
We've
we have somebody.
interviewed them.
Right,
I
we
missed
interviewed-
that episode.
Oh, go back. We're gonna.
I'll have to go
Gonna leave him
back.
up for a
Oh my
while.
god.
Yeah.
Is it like the book adaptation of the movie Junior?
No,
No.
no.
But they are.
And that's another thing I like is the fact that if you have a taste, if you have a particular niche, right, and you're passionate about it and you love telling about it, we will have you on this show. And so
We will.
I've learned about so many different subgenres because the folks here. It's been amazing. And Erica was sitting there going to chat, was like, yeah, we got the male pregnancy, or we've got like the bear shifter. Or I was like, bear what? Wait, this is the thing? She's like, yep. I'm like, that's cool.
I'm
I really
glad.
don't know how I feel about it, but it's cool it exists.
I'm glad that you're open-minded because I have this new series idea that I've been thinking about. It's combining fecalophilia and necrophilia, and I'm going to do it on your show.
All right.
Yeah, on
We will
Krishan's
talk
show.
about the zombies that have sex with you later.
Well, you know, they
And by
The-
that's been done too.
that's turned up in many different places. One of Peter Jackson's early works has, I guess you could call them zombies, but it's what was it? Brain Dead in New Zealand, Dead Alive in America. We the dead priest has sex with the I think it was a dead nurse, and they have a giant baby zombie monster. You got to see it. It's fucking hilarious. It's my favorite Peter Jackson movie ever.
Didn't get as
Sounds
wide
good.
release as the Hobbits.
Hobbit
I wonder
shifter
why-
romance.
A whole bunch of sex with people with big hairy feet. I don't think so.
Yeah, I was just thinking like that would be the allure, wouldn't it? Just the hairy feet, like that's. Oh, you got a little shorter.
Oh gosh.
Just a little bit, nothing too weird. Just a bit.
Well, I've got two favorite episodes from the show. The first one is Amanda Emily when we interviewed her, and I fucking fangirled at the beginning of the episode. I had to get it out of the way, do it right at the beginning, fangirl all over her. But yeah, that was awesome. She's like my writing hero, and she is definitely on track to release those 29 books this year. And she's trimming down production next year. I think she's aiming at about 20 to 25 books next year. But
Slacker.
And my other one was the little side one I did. I was hoping to do lots of shorter ones, little mini episodes, but I only managed to get one done. It was where I interviewed webcomic Dave Callett, and how closely the webcomics, or even comics that are syndicated in newspapers, how closely the digital shift has mirrored the indie digital shift as well. So that was really great. Oh.
And y'all should have heard how excited she was to get this interview, yo. Most of the time, Erica is even keel, right? She's just like emote, right? She was all like, "Bad girl." Y'all should have seen it.
Got Dave Kelly. Yeah.
It was a thing to behold. And she was so. I'm probably breaking out somebody's earphones. Rip your ears if you have earphones on. I'm sorry about that, but she really was excited.
Yeah, we all have, people we get excited over.
Yes, we do. And I'm glad that I got to be able to see you get excited like that. Like, fangirl, oh my God, Senpai noticed me. Excited.
Yeah. I like the fact that we're getting lots of comments again tonight. See, this is what did you see AC Nixon just put sexual chocolate? Drops Mike. That's just hilarious. But,
that's Vicar Sean.
That's for Kashan.
All the beauty they possess inside. Yeah, that's what that was.
So good.
Yeah.
So we've got about just under 20 minutes left of this final, very somber and serious episode. Should we talk about what will be rising from the ashes of SPRT?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay, there could have been some bad jokes here, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is the interesting thing is you're talking about how we often talk to people on the podcast that didn't get on other podcasts. Like there's a lot of people who, if you want bear shifters, you got to come to us. But with both X and Erica, and with Krishan, you are both doing podcasts that are focused more on people who are beginning. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the guest, but the target audience is.
Quit teasing, Erica. What's the name of your
Tell
new
us,
podcast?
tell us.
Jesus.
So X and I have already started pre-recording episodes for Publishing Without Supervision podcast, and the website's even up, but it's a placeholder at the moment. So pwspodcast.com. And basically, X and I both haven't published anything for most of this year, and we thought we need to go back to basics and start again. So we're both deciding to start out in different genres and going right back to idea creation and plotting and how to basically create a writing routine, and going all the way through that journey to writing, editing, book covers, publishing, launch schedules, and marketing. So our target audience really is anyone who's starting out new, anyone who's in the same situation as us, or anyone who's already published. So we're pretty much targeting everyone. But it'll be all about our journey going through. And so we'll be bringing in authors, not necessarily the six-figure authors, although we do have one already recorded, Chris Fox, and we'll be bringing them in just to provide us with advice on how they do things. But we're not going for the really popular outlier people here. We're going for the people who have a little bit of expertise or have already they're a few steps ahead of the road ahead of us, so they can just, you know, reach out their hand to us and pull us up. So we're not going for the noob and we're not going for the really expert person, but we're going for someone who's already done it.
And what about you, Krishan?
I am focusing more on the absolute beginner. I call them freshman writers, those who've been in the game, actual indie publishing for about a year, and it's called Mind the Gap. And it's based on the Gap monologue by This American Life's Ira Glass, where he talks about a lot of folks who are just new, or they have good taste and they got into the game because they have good taste, but their work is not up to the level of their taste, and it takes a lot of work in order to get there. There's a gap between your work and your ambitions. And I've also pre-recorded, I have about 4 interviews done now, where I talk to folks who are in their first year. What inspired them to write? How did they build their life so they could write? What has their feedback been like? How did it feel to press publish for the first time? What do you intend to do to improve your writing? What surprised you the most about pressing publish and the aftermath for the first time? And they're going to be short episodes, about 30 minutes each. We take the craft seriously. We do not take ourselves seriously at all. And so far, we've had Greg Montel. We're going to have T.S. Paul soon. We have Paul Middleton, Kat Lynn there. And I'm really looking forward to it because as a person, like I said, I've been published since June. What I thought was going to be my publishing life was vastly different to what it turned out to be. And a lot of people are like,
how so?
So.
Whoops, we had a little delay there.
Somebody just asked me a question?
Yeah, Robert asked, how so? How is it different?
How was it different? I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know about all the smaller moving parts, right? You can take courses about the bigger things, like how to market, how to email. But what you don't learn is for every, you got to get your mailing list, there is what to consider when you're choosing a standard mail transfer protocol, a SFTP, right? What to consider when you are actually writing to them. How often is too often and how often is too much?
Every hour is too much.
That's some solid advice right there.
Right.
Yes.
And there are all these small. What if you don't write to market? What if your stuff is just simply not to market? What's the difference between a passion project and something that you're making for people to read? How to read the stats and how to figure out who your target market is. A lot of folks like, figure out your target market. How the hell do you do that? Right? Mm-hmm. Those small things and learning those small things and learning that you had to learn those small things were the biggest surprise. I'm like, I can write a book. I can write a book in 2 weeks and have it up there. But that's only a small part of what our business is.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do is just write to market, but just that in itself, write to market is, like you were just saying, so many individual things that once you break them all down are individual disciplines that you do have to be simultaneously good at, or at least cover your ass in some of them.
Yeah, you have to be at least competent. You need to be able to know what questions to ask of somebody that you would have to do the work for you, right? Because not every artist, space operas are really big right now, but not every cover artist or not every illustrator is created equal, right? So yes, you can be writing to market doing the space opera, but if you have a bad cover, and then you also have to know what makes a bad cover within your genre because they're different, it's not going to do well, right? The one thing that I make fun of a lot is the paranormal. The paranormal cover is a girl with soulless eyes looking at you like this, or looking at you like this, like behind her shoulder at you, with that dead look in her eye, and her backdrop is always purple and pink and black. Why is it like that? Because a lot of people recognize that as paranormal.
But she's also got some magic shit in her hand too.
Yeah, like, she also has some magic.
There's always one hand that's doing something. You know, there's an extra purple pinky glow around it, and it's like, hey, mystery.
Or that Naruto run pose where her arms are like sticking right behind her and she has a sword in her hand and those dead eyes and the aura is on the sword and she's kind of popping out her tits like this. Yeah, that's another popular pose too.
It's like fantasy Dawson's Creek intro.
Yes, that's exactly what that is. But it is the international sign for this is paranormal and someone might get laid. And that's what people want to read. But I didn't know that.
Thank you for describing one of my series covers. I really appreciate that.
probably one of X's to it.
Did they get laid? God damn it.
Are either of you going to do live shows, or is it going to all pre-record?
Pre-record.
Pre-record.
Mine will be pre-recorded because the folks I talk to are busy, and they have 45 minutes to give me, and so I have to be nimble and try to work around their time. So, and plus, I always ask that if I'm interviewing you, please be alone, and so that means that we have to do one of those 4:30 a.m. things because that's when they're up and that's before the kids wake up and we're not disturbing anybody. You can't do that live.
Dave might be going to bed at 4:30 a.m., but Dovey's up.
Oh, I'm up.
You're talking about doing a world building podcast too, aren't you, Krishan?
Sorry?
You were talking about doing a world building podcast as well, weren't you?
Yes, I am. That's going to be later on in the year because I am writing a book on world building called Creative Worlds, How to Build Your Universe and Still Get Your Books Finished. And,
nice. I like the title.
Yeah.
That's a good title.
That is literally the title of the book. Because every author I know, especially the ones who I go through with NaNoWriMo, they're like, oh, I'm world building now, or I need to finish world building. No, you need to finish that book. Then you pull everything out of that and world build then. And folks are like, no. I'm like, okay, how many books have you finished? Exactly. So I'm going to be, why is Zoe mad mugging me right now? Why is
Zoe, she froze.
I had another tab open, damn it.
One that she's angry with.
Sorry, girl. But we're going to be going through a process that will allow you to world build as you complete your books, because you only need a certain amount of world building to complete a book. And as you gather those things, as you ask yourself more questions, you add that information in. And part of it, well, a big part of it is how to create a book Bible. How to create a repository of all your lore, all your characters, all your structures, and how to structure it. What questions to ask yourself when you're doing that, and a place where all your ideas go. So when you need an idea, you know exactly where to go to. If you need to help with continuity, you go to one place. It will help you produce books faster, and it works for any genre. It also works for nonfiction. That's coming on later on because I'm going to be doing a actual book, an audiobook, and the podcast. Kind of like writing excuses, length about 15 minutes, because the concepts don't take a long time to explain on those.
I'm picturing a whole lot of jokes about Genesis and creating the world in 6 days and resting on the seventh, that kind of thing.
Yes, and then there's going to be a few more Phil Collins jokes than I really deem necessary. So,
Robert, what are you going to do?
I want to say that Phil Collins' joke is never unnecessary.
In fact, it's in the contract.
It's in the contract. I've had 2 podcasts in the past. I did the Cool People podcast, where I interviewed fantastic and wonderful, interesting people, writers, directors, Hugh Howey, and etc. And I had the All That Chaz podcast, which was kind of all over the map. I'm going to focus that podcast a bit more because I I've got 3 books coming out around January 1st is the plan. So in the next year, I'm going to build out my series. I've got a pseudonym that's going to be a big distraction, I think. And as far as the podcast goes, I've got the All That Chaz podcast at allthatchaz.com. Chaz with 2 Z's, 2 Z's if you're nasty. You know you wanted to hear it one more time. And I'm going to be writing this nonfiction book. It's called Do the Thing, and it is about stress relief. And I thought, I've got so much material that what I should do is podcast that book. So I'll be doing the All That Chaz Stress Relief podcast, because in the year that we have Trump in our lives this much, people are going to need stress
relief. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Great timing, Chaz. Great timing.
Not only will they need stress relief, they'll also need the soft, dulcet tones of Robert Chaz Shoot.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make it sexy. It's all going to be like this, all up close on the microphone. And, I'll be naked the entire time, of course.
I want you to straddle the microphone.
You will be naked as well.
Right up in there.
You want to know how I got these scars? You know what?
I gave them to you. I was there.
And with that, we went off the rails. Before we finish tonight, there are 2 things I wanted to add, which is shout out to Michelle Reed. Everybody remember Michelle? Sweet Michelle? She kind of brought me into, I was in a mastermind group with her, with Simon, and she said, get on the podcast. So I was a guest a couple times, and then Michelle asked me back, or Eric asked me back later. I miss Michelle. I don't know what she's doing writing in the writing sphere now, but I hope that she's still writing. The other thing I wanted to say was a big thank you to Erica for bringing me in as a co-host on the panel, because Erica podcasts from sunshine and we podcast in darkness. And she does so much work while we're sleeping. It is amazing how much work that she has done as the show producer, organizer, guest wrangler, and ape tire downer. So thank you so much, Erica, for all that you've done.
And I just want to echo that, because this show would not be if it wasn't for Erica. She puts in the finest of work getting this done and to you seamlessly every week.
Wow.
Yeah, she made us work so hard, we really resented her. So everybody,
He worked so hard, I felt,
for Erica.
and I'm always working.
I would just like to say thank you to all of you, just for making my life better. It's been a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you guys every week. The pre-show, the after show, the chit chats on Facebook. Just
The cursing, the murderous threats.
Yeah, all that, Robert. That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So no, it's just. I can't express enough how much great people I've met through the show, and each and every one of you is awesome, and so I thank you. Thank you,
Wade. You've been a wonderful mediator and humble narrator.
Humble. I like that, humble.
Not deliciously handsome, like some
like
guest said.
X, X got the beard. That's just,
I do like men with beards.
Yeah.
You've seen my husband. He is real.
Well,
X is my favorite Pikachu character.
Zoe, thank you for popping on tonight. And David, thanks for coming back again.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Are we going to thank Carl for not coming on? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was in the comments.
He's in the comments. He's not on the show.
Where he started, that's where he belongs, right? Trolling.
I think that was his choice.
I just want to quickly say thank you to Zoe for coming in, first of all, on a somewhat weekly basis, wasn't it, for when we started the news roundtable, and then on a sort of monthly basis when we moved it to monthly it's been really great to have someone who actually knows what she's talking about come in and talk about what's happening, in the industry.
But it comes with like a hefty dose of attitude too. So it's like a pros and cons.
Well, remember, you did say you wanted to dick punch someone on one of the episodes. So, I mean...
at least once.
Well, it was said once. and for anyone who wants to see more of Zoe, we're actually, X and I are moving the news roundtable to the Publishing Without Supervision podcast. So instead of at the beginning of the month, we'll now be talking with Zoe at the end of every month. So
every month, whoa.
She's like, wait a second, I didn't sign up for this.
It's so funny. It's so funny that we talk about it like this because just today I was telling somebody about how Sadie Haller and I started co-writing. And it was totally because I just put her name on a book cover, and I was like, surprise!
So if I put your name on a book cover, maybe you'll write a book with me. That's one more. Yeah, I see.
Know, right?
See, it just looks nice.
Yeah. No, I love talking about publishing news. Like it changes all the time, and like Robert said. So many little things happen. Amazon changes something, and yeah, they might mention it on a blog or something, but if you're not looped in, or if you're sick or something, and you happen to miss being looped in that week, all of a sudden you can really be, left on the wrong foot. You can feel kind of wrong-footed as you go to set up your next book, and the pre-order is all different than it used to be or something, so...
Yeah, they keep changing that shit.
I look forward to keep talking about publishing news on you guys, podcasts, etc.
Every month. You heard it here.
Every goddamn month. We'll tire the chair.
And thank you to you guys for putting up with me when I've been like, right, who's on this week? I need questions, please, in the document. I need people to do this. You need to read their book before we talk to them. Thank you for putting up with me wrangling you guys. You are definitely a bunch of cats that do respond well to being herded. So thank you very much.
I was hoping you were just going to leave it at you guys are a bunch of cats. Drop mic.
Meow. Meow.
Okay, well, is this it?
This is the last episode of the Self-Publishing Roundtable.
Yes.
So long, and thanks for the fish.
Yes.
And the listens and the likes.
Yes. Thanks to all the listeners, viewers, fans. You've been awesome.
Haters. Trolls.
And I want to say to X, it's got to be something one more time. You got to say it for us.
Yeah, I got a couple things to say tonight. Au revoir, bonne nuit, gute Nacht, bonum noctum, buenas noches, one arm, aus Wiedersehen, aloha, das vidanya, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, evening, and good night, internets.
Woo!